Welcome to Central Iowa Fishing. Todd Reed here, your host today. Brought along a good friend of mine.
I'm David Bowles.
We're both from Marshalltown. We're at a Central Iowa lake today, here near Colo, Iowa, Hickory Grove Lake. It's a small little lake, kind of settled in between a lot of valleys in this area. It's about 70 to 80 acres large and full of brush piles that the DNR has placed in this lake, and the Story County Conservation Office as well. And a lot of bluegills we're going to find today, hopefully, through the ice, and maybe even a few crappies as well. So stay tuned for some ice fishing action right here in Central Iowa Fishing. Middle of February here at Hickory Grove Lake. Power auger sure makes work of some short ice. The ice is almost 2 foot thick right now. And with the power auger, it leaves you a lot of options. You can drill a lot of holes in a small amount of time. You're able to use the Vexilar to check out the holes beneath, to check for that brush pile, get it beside the brush pile, and more importantly, locate any fish you might be able to catch. So power auger really helps with that in this late season ice. Good one, David.
There we go. Wow, we're pulling out all sorts of species.
A little bass. All right.
We call that a boat.
Yep. There's one. Let's see here. Oh, nicer crappie. Sure.
Where were those?
He was suspended way up in the water column. I'm sitting in about 25 foot of water right now. That fish was up into 6 foot of water. And a nice crappie right now for Hickory Grove right there, probably a 9-incher or so. And there's quite a few of them in that year class right now on this lake. There's not a lot of giants. There's quite a few in this size though, which makes just about perfect size for a keeper. You know, to keep a few for a meal, and that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to keep a few. You know, on any lake in Iowa or river, you're allowed 25 crappies and 25 bluegills a person. That's the limit. Make sure you know your laws when you go out fishing, and keep just enough for a meal. Put the rest back for later. So we're going to keep him. And he hit on just a real small jig, of course. A little pink jig with a couple spikes on there. Real small baits, of course. But again, he was way up high in the water column. Would have never even tried fishing that high if that fish didn't show up on the Vexilar. Showed me the fish was right there. I was able to jig him for quite a while, and he finally committed and had a nice strike for me. So I was able to get a nice crappie there to start the night. Another little bluegill.
This little fish has been...
There's another one. Oh, he's pretty small, I think. Yeah, came out of the school right up at it. little bluegill. Really small.
This hole around 12 to 14 feet.
There we go. I had a school of fish down there, 3 or 4 of them. Finally got that one to hit. Another littler bluegill though. Not quite the size looking for, but might be giving us a hint of what they do like. Just a little guy. Well, that one bit fairly well. There's still more down there, so it's important to get right back down the hole. Release the fish, get your jig right back on down there. Check the bait, of course. You probably saw me do that. Check the bait, see if it's still good, see if it's still moist, has some juices on it, and you know you're ready to catch another one. especially when you have fish on the screen like this. You know they're down there, so it's important to get right back to them. There we go. There's another one. Another little guy, I'm afraid, though. Yeah. Another crappie, but very little. Pretty small, but fun anyway, I guess. Quick check of bait, and again, they're still down there. Little school of them down there. But not very many of them are interested right now. It's really the perfect time to be fishing. It's, you know, the sun's just going down. It's probably about 5:30 right now. The sun will set about 6:30 tonight. This is the ideal time. But what I call it is the February slowdown. And we're really starting to see that on area lakes here in central Iowa, where fish are becoming very picky. Everything is really slowing down. And there's two reasons. The ice is very thick. Now we have a lot of snow cover on the ice, and that slows everything down below the surface of the ice. All the microorganisms, right down to the bluegills and crappies. And that's kind of what we start seeing in February. And middle of February can be some of the toughest time to fish, but as you can see tonight, we're making pretty good use of our time. We're catching a few. We've got one nice one for the table, and hopefully a few more coming up real shortly. But make a lot of holes, check them, fish them, and that's all you can do this time of year. Try some different colors of jigs, try different baits, little small spikes or waxworms, and see what they want. So it's all you can do in February. Keep trying. A little better, okay, David. Oh yeah, that's a nice bluegill. Best one of the night so far.
It's such pretty colors. We did one out of
Another crappie. White crappie there, see the lines on it? Little white crappie. Be good in a couple more years maybe. He was way down towards the bottom of the lake. He was probably 3 foot above the lake floor. First one of the night I caught, he was just 5 foot below the ice. So again, February, you just really don't know what you're going to get. Fish all throughout the water column. Makes a Vexilar almost mandatory this time of year. Time for some fresh bait. That's another thing you can do in February is to keep that bait fresh. Keep fresh waxworms, fresh spikes on there after you catch a fish. And keep them moving, keep the juices. Waxworms and these spikes, when you put them on the hook, they'll let off some juices. All that scent will get down into the water and might help those February fish bite. I like to put 2 or 3 of these spikes on, sometimes even 4. Kind of see what the fish like. There we go. That fish really liked it. He came from quite a far distance. And another crappie. Very aggressive though. Very aggressive. Came on the screen and just right up to it. No hesitation. Hopefully a few bigger ones will start doing that. That's fun though.
I would think I had a fish visiting me.
There we go. Another little guy, I'm afraid. Well, maybe not. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. That's a little better. There we go. Still a little too small though, but that's nice. Another aggressive bite though. He came right up and got it. So that's the last 2 fish that have really come up on the Vexilar and just charged the bait and came right up with no hesitation and hit it. So the next few minutes might be pretty key here. It is pretty nice out. The temperature's just above 30 when we showed up today, but the wind is howling pretty good. 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the west, bringing in another front, and it's icing up our guides and making things a little difficult this evening, but still pretty enjoyable if you're dressed right. I've got multiple layers on, 3 shirts, a sweatshirt, you know, the big coat, of course, good coveralls, and good boots, waterproof boots. Make it so you can enjoy a few hours out here. There we go. This one's pulling a little bit too. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a nice Hickory Grove bluegill. Come here, fish. There you go. That's a nice bluegill right there. Yeah, that's a good fish anywhere. Yeah, that's a good one. Boy. There he goes. He'll be a good one. There we go. Another little guy though. Another little guy. A little black crappie. David has one also.
Oh, I got another. I'm back into the little.
There we go. Another little guy. Just barely bit. Yep, same thing. We have a school of little black crappies underneath us right now. Little random black spots on there. This one acts like it's bigger, but I don't know. Maybe not. Oh, sure. There we go. Yeah, that's good sized. That one's good sized. That's the white crappie. The white ones seem to be a little bigger tonight for one reason or another. But that's another decent one. 8 or 9 incher. Oh, that's a better one right there. That's a good fish right there. Set the hook and he didn't move much. So this one's definitely a better one. Let's see what kind he is here. Maybe. Oh, it's a bass. That's why he felt so good. Trying not to get all wet. There. Well, that's a good quick release for that bass. That's for sure. Boy.
Well, this is David, and I'm here with Todd, and we just finished up about an hour and a half of an evening fish here on Hickory Grove, and it was a tough bite. We had quite a few fish that came up and took a look. We tried different bait, we tried different hook sets, and we caught a few. We caught a few good fish. Yeah,
you know, for a quick trip after work, it turned out all right. You know, we did catch quite a few fish, a lot of them on the smaller side, but we did get a few nice crappies and a few nice bluegills tonight. And you know, for a weeknight after work, come out for an hour and a half, 2 hours, catch a few fish, get back in time for dinner and maybe a little show tonight, and you know, call it a good day. So we're glad you joined us here at Central Iowa Fishing. Hope you learned a little bit of something about midwinter fishing in February. It can be a little bit slower. You have to try a lot of different baits, waxworms, spikes, different colors. We tried 4 or 5 different colors today, and you just have to really experiment to see what those fish are like. And don't forget, you can catch fish way up by the ice, or you can catch fish all the way down at the bottom of the lake during this time of the year. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a few things right here on Central Iowa Fishing.